If you build a native mobile app today, you sign up to build it twice, once for iOS and entirely from scratch for Android. That means maintaining two distinct codebases. You will need two specialized development teams, a doubled budget, and you'll constantly battle out-of-sync feature rollouts because an update that works perfectly on an iPhone might crash on a Samsung. Hybrid mobile app development offers a different path. Instead of writing platform-specific code, you write a single shared codebase that compiles and runs on both operating systems. By eliminating that redundant labor, you can cut your development costs by up to 40% and drastically shrink the time it takes to get your product to market. But slicing your budget nearly in half raises an obvious question. Is that 40% savings a smart operational efficiency, or are you handicapping your app's user experience before it even launches? To evaluate these architectures, we look at this quadrant chart comparing development cost against cross-platform velocity. Down in the bottom right, we have native iOS and Android. It delivers absolute maximum performance, but requires massive effort and is slow to deploy. Up in the top left sits the hybrid single codebase approach. It requires significantly less capital to build while achieving maximum reach on day one. That high-velocity position comes with a specific technical tax. By running a shared codebase, you are giving up absolute peak graphical performance and deep, unhindered access to the device's native hardware. Choosing hybrid means deciding that getting your product into users' hands quickly and efficiently is more critical to your business than squeezing every last frame of processing power out of their phones. But hybrid is a broad term. This comparison matrix breaks down the three distinct architectures that fall under that umbrella, starting with the most basic. A WebView app is essentially a website built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript wrapped inside a native mobile shell. Because it relies entirely on web technologies, performance is fairly basic. However, it is by far the fastest and cheapest option to deploy. You will feel like you are navigating a website on your phone, making WebViews strictly viable for simple content delivery or bare-bones MVPs. Next is the Progressive Web App, or PWA. This bypasses the app stores entirely, allowing users to install directly from a mobile browser. PWAs give instant load times and offline capabilities, but you lose access to vital native functions, like reliable push notifications. Both WebViews and PWAs completely trade deep hardware integration for the cheapest, most frictionless deployment path possible. If you have the budget to scale but still want a single codebase, you move up to modern framework-based apps, specifically React Native and Flutter. This third tier delivers near-native fluid animations and scalable architecture. It sits firmly in the high-performance category while maintaining moderate development speeds. The compromise here is subtle. Your app might lack those highly nuanced, platform-specific micro-interactions that strict iOS or Android power users instinctively expect. You also run into a hardware integration wall. Hybrid apps built on these frameworks do not have direct native access to device features like the camera, NFC sensors, or GPS. To fix this, developers rely on third-party plugins. As this diagram shows, the plugin acts as a mandatory bridge between your hybrid shell and the device's physical hardware. This creates operational risk. When Apple or Google push a major OS update, it can break these plugins, causing your camera or GPS features to fail until the external library gets patched. Despite that risk, this tier is highly effective for massive enterprise B2B tools, secure fintech platforms, and e-commerce stores requiring wide reach. Frameworks trade away only the uppermost tier of processing power. In exchange, you secure a highly scalable application at a much lower cost. Deciding exactly how to build your app requires a strict look at this decision tree, mapping your architecture to your current constraints. The first filter is technical. Does your application require intensive 3D rendering, augmented reality, or heavy background processing? If the answer is yes, you have to accept the higher cost of a native build. Attempting to run AR or high-end graphics through a hybrid framework will cause lag and degrade the experience. If your app is not processor-intensive, we move to the second filter. Is capital preservation and gathering immediate MVP feedback your absolute priority? Bootstrap startups answering yes should build a WebView or a PWA. Sacrificing premium user experience is a necessary trade to ensure survival and speed. If you have capital and are building complex logistics, fintech, or e-commerce tools, you build a hybrid framework like React Native or Flutter. Following these strict constraints stops startups from over-engineering their earliest products and prevents large enterprises from under-delivering when it comes time to scale. The debate between native and hybrid development isn't really about which code is superior. They serve distinctly different strategic goals. It is a calculation of resource allocation. You are weighing your available capital and your go-to-market timeline against the need for peak hardware integration. Cutting your development costs by 40% with a single codebase is only a victory if the final product still solves your end user's problem without frustrating them. The most successful products don't automatically default to the most powerful technology. They choose the architecture whose specific compromises align perfectly with their business model.